Snowultations, everybody. I also gotta remove this. Where am I? There I am. Hi guys! Happy September, if you can call it happy. I hope that those of us who came back to school are having a decent first day. And I had a pretty decent day myself. So yeah, you guys probably noticed the title of this stream is different than the usual Metaphor Mondays when they happen, and that's because I decided to do something a little special, something a little different. For some reason it's still showing me it's Starry Saturdays, that's not right. I was pretty sure that like it was gonna be something different. Maybe there's something I think for now I'm gonna put it on just chatting. Because technically Starless Saturday was 2 days ago. But yeah. Can you believe that it's been over 1 year of me streaming video games for you guys? That's pretty crazy. I think it's bananas even. So yeah. You also notice that there's also something else that's a little different. Which is the music, and the music I just put because I thought it was funny. I'm currently playing out a playlist on YouTube called Gnome Playlist for gnome ears only. And if you guys want a smile on your face, it's basically a bunch of, it's basically like a slideshow of funny gnome pictures as you have video game music. That's like, pretty, like, gnome themed. And it, as you guys saw, it began with the Super Mario RPG music. So, yeah. Hey, Tabs! Nice seeing you! Tonight we're doing something a little different. And we're probably gonna do that something different for, like, the rest of the month. Should it be allowed. As for the reason why, well, it's because it's September. And I think that, like, streaming this special event is probably gonna be preferred. Because, of reasons. So yeah, I know it's a little weird. I know I've been a little inconsistent with my streaming schedule and all that. But don't worry. I think you guys are gonna have a lot of fun here, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun myself. Yeah. So yeah, I also brought myself a bottle of water for a change. I don't often bring a water bottle when I do streams, and that's because I forget. Usually what I do is just get a cup, and then whenever someone tells me to hydrate, it becomes a problem because, oh shit, I don't have a water. What game are you playing? Soon. I'm just gonna finish my watermelon, and then we're gonna do it. What are you doing? And then, like, someone pays for me to hydrate, and I'm like, shit, well, now I have to get up. Now I have to get the fuck up from my chair, and, well, there's gonna be a game that we're gonna do before this. I'm sorry, what game are we playing again? We're gonna do Balatro, and then we're going to do the game. Should it be there? Because someone wanted me to play Balatro instead. So we're gonna do one round of Balatro, and then we're going to be doing the game. This is thank you. Well, excellent things. I wanna congratulate you for actually you know, like, being in enough streams that you actually can get Balatro on stream. So yeah, first of all, we're doing Balatro for first of all, we're doing, sorry. It's just so funny. I'm like, oh, I have this plan. I'm gonna do this plan. I can now pay for your suffering. And now what I gotta do is basically play Balatro. I'm just gonna put on the game capture, and instead of that game, I'm gonna put in Balatro, wherever it is. I don't know why it's not getting it, but yeah, we're doing Balatro before we're getting to the opening act. You know, it's kind of like the opening act before. Wow, it's taking a bit of time for it to load. Thank you, mods. Thank you, Balatro mods. So yeah. As you guys can see, I'm gonna put the no music back. Hopefully it didn't crash the program or some shit like that, because I do have some modes installed. Right now it's just saying that it's not responding, sad face. And it's not saying the sad face, I just added it because reasons. Come on. Please open the game. Why are you not responding? Yeah, I'm going to go back to, Hello, me old chum. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the title and then try to open it again. And hopefully it'll open. Can't believe it. We're only we're only 11 minutes in and we're already having technical difficulties. There we go. I am not a gnome. Okay. There we go. The show's on the road. Which means now I gotta turn off the game, so you guys will have some motion. Yeah, only minor scuff, no big deal. Even gnome. Yeah. You just got good and you have been gnomed. Gnomed. Yeah. There we go. It's not showing the Bellator, so I'm just gonna go to get the game capture. And God, oh, there we go. I'm blind. Is that it? No, it's the lovely. I managed to run Bellator. Okay, so we're gonna do some Bellator and then we're going to get it. It's, you know, it's kind of like the opening act, like when you're going to a band. Okay, explode things. You get to ask me what deck to use. You request a deck. If you're not gonna request a deck in 9 seconds, I'm just gonna do gold stick on Nebula deck. Ghost deck, white stake. Okay, fine. My favorite. Yeah, I will say that we're probably gonna be playing it. I'm not going for a high score. I'm just gonna play it until ante 8. And yeah, because I do want to eventually play the game that I wanted to play. There we go. And like, if I fail, then I just close the stream. You only get one round of the. You only get one shot. One shot of adrenaline. Now, is this a good idea? I don't know. But I'm gonna use the hex. This is my stream, and maybe you paid the bits, but I'm the one who calls the shots. And this is the moment where I actually pull a gun out of my my chest, and I point it at you. Okay. Very nice. We have weather rate. Oh, I also have all my mods activated, so just look at them. Photograph first place. I like taking a photograph. It's a fun one. And I guess we'll also take Swashbuckler for the +8 mold. Man, we've only begun and I already feel like I need a sippy. Also, this is gonna be random, but I actually had a really nice time. Like, as you guys know, I do Pilates. I do exercising, and today my Pilates exercise, like the instructor I have on Mondays, she's very sweet. It's like how she told me she's very happy when she sees me, and that it's nice that like I'm committing, and it's nice for me too. Because I can't believe that I've been doing Pilates for almost a year. Like, I don't consider myself athletic. And like, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just like fucking stop and like not do the sport. But this time I managed to convince myself to do the sport. So I'm really happy with myself. That was not a good call. This is actually fine, I think. We also have a level in slash. That is commitment. A whole year is good. Yeah, it is. And it's also like, because getting fit is just like, I talked about it like already on this channel a while back, but like when I was in high school, like my mom tried getting me to lose weight. I remember just like having a really shitty time. Because it just felt that like it did not go well to my anxiety. I just felt like that like losing weight and exercising, it really weighed on me. Do I have anything? Oh, I actually have an high card. Maybe we can do something with this. Maybe we can go for a penguin build with photograph and also get the sacrificial lamb going on there. Hey, look, it's you. Yeah, it's me. This is from the birthday pack that Korchak made me. For those of you curious as to why there's only one deck, it is in fact me. It's a me. But yeah, so I had a bit of a hard time with it. Because, you know, because exercising can be scary and hard, and like, I'm not a fit person. Like, I'm not an athletic person. I was always the slowest runner. I also have a mild disability with my leg. So it just leads to like me just being very slow in general. But my parents didn't raise a quitter. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna max my high card and play with the penguin. But I can also take the other cards because it's free. But yeah, we're gonna try and do that. More money. Yeah, but like ever since I started like exercising, and some of it has been for like, you know, weight loss, but like I'm in a decent weight. I also feel like a traffic cone's free. Why are you asking why traffic cones are free? No, they're not. But again, like, do I look like Schlatt to you? I'm not gonna stop you if you're gonna take traffic cones from the road. I'm only gonna judge you. Can I take a stop sign and take it home? As a treat? I mean, I'm not gonna stop you. I physically can't stop you. I'm a snow hermit. I live... Oh, this is another one. This is, insanity. If you can take it, I don't see why not. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take insanity, and then I'm gonna re-roll, and then I'm gonna see what Joker I take. This is inspired by, This is inspired by, the Slay the Spire, Joker. Oh, now I feel stupid. Yeah. Like, I asked Korchak, what is the insanity? And then Korchak told me, dude, it's from Slay the Spire, and I'm like, oh shit, I did not think of that. Also, I don't think we can play, Penguin anymore. It's mostly for the chip boost, and right now we're on thin ice, quite literally. I hope I didn't lose. On thin ice. None of these are good. I'm gonna continue high card maxing. Also, these because I can and no one is stopping me. Oh, this is perfect. I guess we're gonna get rid of Sacrificial Lamb. And yeah, continue from there because... Well, actually, this is not too shabby. I'm just gonna use a high card. Wait, I'm not feeding the penguin, shit. I forgot to feed the penguin. That was a mistake. Always remember to feed the penguins, chat. If you don't, they'll get really angry and fuck up your run. I mean, the penguins didn't fuck up my run. I fucked up my run. Immolate? Oh, that would have been good with Sacrificial Lamb. That stinks. You know what would have been nice? Getting a photo chat. It would be really nice to have. It sure would be nice to get a photo chat just about now, you know? But alas, some things are not meant to be. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm also gonna say that like I'm not gonna report you guys. But what have you got? What's the weirdest thing you've stolen? Like, what is I mean, the question is pretty self-explanatory. Because sometimes, like, you take things... I mean, usually... I said, like, the things that I... Like, sometimes I do steal as well. Oh, Father, forgive me for I have sinned. But, like, I remember, like, usually when I go to, like, stores that, like, sell, do we have a... Like, sometimes I go to, like, markets and, like, I look at the nuts. And, like, sometimes, like, I would just, like... Look around, hope that no one sees any of the nuts, and then I'll be like, and then I'll just like take something from a peanut or something from the side. I'm not reporting anyone to it. I'm not trying to report anyone. I'm genuinely curious. Yeah. Hello, welcome to the stream. We are currently, I was about plant alert. Yeah, I saw the plant. I am, mentally preparing myself for it, though. I might just lose on purpose just so we can play the game. Like, there is a suit I haven't stolen, but I have seen some crazy stuff. Oh, Tabs. Like what? Please, I would love to know. I won't snitch, but I'm just curious. Oh, fuck! This was... Oh, that stinks. Oh, that got rid of my faces. How dare. I'm gonna try looking for Luchador. That's not happening. I guess we'll just continue. Oof. Now I feel really bad I got rid of Sacrificial Lamb. I do have a feeling you won spades by... I know I won spades. I do. I also want to get some, in flushes. Well, I don't see anything. I guess now we're just gonna, spade max, if we will. I think we'll be able to do it. We have like 9 spades left. We might be able... Oh, there we go. We did the thing. Maybe the run will survive. Maybe the run will survive. I'm not optimistic, but like... Nope, we got planted. I would say, but it's kind of messed up. It's fine. I'm not gonna... That's fair. Some stories are too messy, fucked up to share on stream. Okay. Well, that was your run. Which means now we are going to get into the big reveal. This is the game that I am wanting to stream, and hopefully we'll be able to finish it by September. I'm gonna play the opening cutscene for you guys. I'm also gonna go to the bathroom, but you guys can just look at the funny pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow snowruns, we are going to be playing 999. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. This game is definitely one of the most influential games I've played. I've been aware of the game's existence since like 6th grade, I want to say. And like it was, and I have like a history of like going in and out, of like getting the spoilers, and no shit, the cutscene's playing again. And this is simply this is definitely one of the most this game really like fucked with my brain and did a lot and like was very and is very much a cult classic. So yeah, a few things. This is an emulation. I'm using an emulator to play this, and I know it's a little weird. Oh, it seems like hey, Barry. I'm gonna say like a few things, but it seems like I kickstarted the game. The game is fiction, all names and incidents. It seems like I just need to click. So yeah, we're playing 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors, and I am playing I'm emulating the game with this Mume, even though there is a PC port, and there's a couple of reasons for it. But there is definitely like one big reason, because this game doesn't have any voice acting, and the sprites just look better. They did like the upscaling on the sprites looks really bad in the Steam version. So yeah. I'm also gonna ask people who already played this game, no spoilers in chats. Oh, it seems like my mic is picking up on some of the audio cues. A loud noise startled Junpei awake, and his eyes snapped open. As they adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize his surroundings. Ow! So how it looks like in the DS is that like the narration is on the top screen, and on the bottom screen is the dialogue. At least if I remember correctly. No, it's actually the opposite. With a crack, Junpei's head connected with something metal. He rolled over and threw his head to steady himself, but he found himself groping at empty air. His balance lost, and his still fuzzy mind struggling to understand what was going on, Junpei tumbled down on the cold gray floor. Oh, god damn it! What the hell? Junpei glared down at the room, still trying to determine where he'd woken up. The fall had shaken the last cobwebs of sleep from his mind, and he finally understood where he'd fallen from. It was a bed. A 3-level bunk bed, in fact. Junpei had fallen, apparently, from the topmost bunk. His shoulder hurt. His knee hurts. His hip hurt. His entire body hurts. Being in your late 20s and 30s, do be like that. He could feel a bump forming on his forehead. Gone? Where he'd slammed it against the low ceiling. He wondered if that bump was the reason he felt his vision wavering a bit, but that seemed unlikely. At first he thought the tremor that ran through his legs was just another effect of his rude awakening, but he looked around. He realized it was real. The whole room was shaking. It was an earthquake, he wondered. Oh, was it an earthquake, he wondered? It didn't seem likely. It was shaking far too quickly for an earthquake. Then again, Junpei had no idea what it was, if not an earthquake. He tried to tell himself it was important. Junpei rubbed the growing bump on his head and gingerly climbed to his feet. His balance regained, and hello, welcome to the stream. We are playing 999. His balance regained, he finally took his first good look at the room and muttered to himself, "Where am I?" His pain momentarily forgotten in the face of confusion of his circumstances, Junpei looked around the room once again. Minutes passed while Junpei struggled to get his bearings. Then, as suddenly as they had begun, the tremors ceased. A cold silence fell over the room. From somewhere far away, Junpei could hear the sound of metal squeaking. He felt his stomach tighten. There was 1,000 things of sound could have been, but none of the things he could think of were good. In an attempt to distract himself, Junpei looked around the room once more. There was a stove that looked more antique than functional. A 3-level bunk bed had mattresses that were so thin they were little more than blankets. On the other side of the room was an identical bed, and set in the wall between the beds was a slightly dirty iron door. The first thing Junpei noticed about the door was the number roughly emblazoned across it. On the surface of the door, in red paint, someone had written 5. 5? What's this 5 mean? Suspicious, and still utterly confused, Junpei approached the door slowly. Standing at last in front of the door. Dang, I gotta go, but catch you next time. Catch you next time, Fabs. Good to see you. Junpei grabbed hold of the L-shaped handle. A push yielded no movement, and a pull, the same result. A few more tries cemented the truth in Junpei's mind. It wouldn't open. It didn't matter how much he pushed and shoved. The handle wouldn't budge. Next to the door was an odd-looking device that reminded Junpei of a card reader. It didn't take a genius to figure out what the odd-looking device was keeping the door shut. Junpei knocked hard on the door. Hey! Hello? Is anyone there? Open the door! There was no response. Junpei threw his left fist into the door and stopped. What the hell is this? Author's note. Junpei says a lot of what the hell in this game. He wasn't really sure what else to say. On his left wrist was a bracelet of a sort he'd never seen before. In the center was a large LCD display. It looked like nothing else so as much as a watch, but it clearly wasn't that. And after all, it showed only a single number. 5. That's the same as the door. True, the numbers were the same, but he had no idea what that might mean. All he knew was that it was strange and new, and he wanted it off. Junpei flipped his hand over as if to remove a watch, but the other side of the bracelet was solid. No buckle, no clasp, nothing. He sighed and flipped the thing back over. There was a number of rivets around the rim of the face, perhaps. He pushed them, but nothing happened. On the watch, they might be the dials of adjusting the date or time, but on this bracelet, they did nothing. Junpei was at a loss. What was he going to do? Growing more desperate, he began to tug at it. However... Damn! It's no good! Damn thing won't come off! A steel ring ran through his face. Around Junpei's wrist, and back to the face. He wouldn't be pulling on the bracelet off any time in the near future. What the hell is the deal with this thing? Frustration and desperation were beginning to mix as the reality of the situation began to dawn fully on Junpei. So much was happening and none of it made sense. Junpei felt as though he was about to explode. Where am I? And why the hell am I here? Why? Why? What the hell happened to me? It was at that moment he noticed the window. The window was round, rimmed in riveted brass, like a window from an early 20th century ship. What? Wait, am I in a ship? Junpei walked slowly toward the window. He could see nothing beyond it but thick, impenetrable darkness. Junpei squinted, trying to see something, anything. It was at that moment. What the? You gotta be kidding me! What the hell is going on here? Cracks split the glass of the window, and for a moment, Junpei stared at it. Then the window burst, and the window began to pour into the room. I hope my audio was fine, by the way. What the hell? God damn it! Junpei yelled and spun around, his feet slipping on the water already coming through the window. He ran for the door. Hey! Anyone! Is anyone there? Come on, if you're there, say something! There was no reply. As Junpei screamed and pounded on the door, the water began to rise. It was now ankle deep on the floor, rising quickly towards his knees. Things were not looking good for Junpei. Not good at all. He needed to find a way out, and quickly. Junpei ran across a hand across his forehead, brushing the sweat out of his eyes, and looked up around the room. Ah yes, the sound of nostalgia. This sound takes me back. So, we have a bunch of things, and if I remember correctly, this is the touch screen, and this is the visual screen. Operations during an escape. During an escape, you can move to different parts of the room by touching the bottom screen. Since many areas require very exact selection, we recommend you use the stylus. Okay, this is the tutorial. I'm not going to read it out loud. Depending on the nature of the location you touch, you might find an item over a hint. No. Yeah, unfortunately, one of the holdbacks is that, like, this game is gonna have a lot of backtracking. And, yeah. So I'm just gonna have to do a lot of flipping around. Yeah, this is a lot of explanation. The purpose of each escape is to get out of the room. Huh, who'd have thunk? I do want to know what's my control? So my start is enter. Okay. How will you do? You need to search all throughout the room and discover what you'll need to do to get out. Search for hints and they may help you on the way out. So, yeah. We see the map here. We see there's a bunch of stuff in here. The water is frozen because reasons, but trust me, it's very much a threat. Water just keeps pouring through the window. It's like a waterfall. I don't think shoving something into the window is going to stop the water. In other words, if I don't want to die, I need to find a way out of this room. I have to figure this out. Doesn't look like water is going to stop anytime soon. Well, what do we have here? A bulletin board. Looks like someone put a note on it. Okay, now we're getting a tutorial on items. Oh, sorry. Now it seems like I need to readjust my, the stream screen because, I also want to have enough, tapping room on this Mume. This should be good enough. I know how to play this game. I've played these games before. Yeah, so like, again, this is a sacrifice I'm making by playing like the version I know, but you'll see. so we have this hint, there's triangles, we can continue from there. And we can also investigate with an item. Tutorial. We also have this picture frame. An old picture frame. There's a picture of a ship in it. There's screws keeping the back on, which means we probably need to find something to do. Let's see if there's anything hidden in the sink. This is the only drain in the room. Yep, so we're pretty much fucked unless we find a way to, you know... Man, this is a pretty poor excuse for a bed. There's barely any space between the bed and the ceiling. I don't think I'd ever have enough space to turn over. I bet money to list for the crew passenger, so maybe the ship's crew. Gotta die someday, but I sure as hell don't want it to be here. Okay. Yep. We're not planning to die today. Not today. Hey, who threw tomatoes on me? Not very nice, chat. Hey, Barry. No dice. Lock tight. Let's see if there's anything in the keyhole. It's a password. Teehee? Yeah, teehee. I'm about to die. This is the door to the stove. Well, it opens easily enough. Sure wish the door to get out was that easy to open. And it seems like we found a screwdriver, which means now we combine this with this. Well, the screwdriver got those screws off easily enough. And there's a picture. And it seems like we basically have a key for the red and the blue. But I don't know if it's gonna be what we need. Okay, also, tutorial. I've played this game before. Screwdriver, huh? Wonder why that's here. Oh, I just figured it out. It's not like I played this game, like, at least twice, and, like, I know I watched Let's Plays of this game before I played it. Well, let's see if there's anything in here. Huh? Looks like there is. A key? Yeah, there's a little blue key in the bottom of this pot. Odd. Okay. So we have our blue key. And now... This is the middle bunk, the bunk bed. Okay. Can't see the bottom of the ladder. Oh man, the water's already at the bottom of the bed. Gotta hurry this up. Not much here. Well, I can reach this one. Might as well look through it. Huh? Yeah, nothing here. Can't bring myself to call this a bed. Feels like a board with a sheet on it. It's pretty flat. Maybe he needs a mattress from today's sponsor. He likes sleep. Okay. Looks like we actually managed to get like a blue and another blue. You know, this is actually a perfect opportunity to, like, get a writing utensil so I can get my hints down. I'm pretty sure there's also a memo pad in the DS version, but I'm too lazy to do that, so I'm just gonna use a notepad. A notebook I have, and just write some things, because you see, chat, right here we have 3 things. A key, and we have 2 notes. We also need to find the other briefcase. So... the square is 0. Filled in square is 0. Right facing triangle is 2, so it's 0, 2. And then it's 6. And then this is basically 3, so it's 0, 6. 0263. Let's try taking care of the briefcase. Yeah. And we want this to go here. Alright, let's see what happens when I put the blue key in the keyhole. And nothing. I guess I'm gonna need some sort of code for the dial. Minigames! Tutorial. tutorial. Operation instructions. Enter 4 numbers this way and then touch the key. No, this actually needs to remain. And it opened. All right, let's see if these numbers work. Turn on the key and hey, look. Looks like it's working. Yes! All right, let's open it up. We open the briefcase. Yes! It opened! Looks like there's something in here. What is this? A file? Find documents or notes during an escape. The information on them will be available from the file screen. To open the file screen, touch File on the top right of the screen. This is basically gonna be our glossary. Alright, let's see what's in this file. Digital root. Let's see here. Compute a digital root with the following steps. First, add all the numbers in question to one another. If you end up with something greater than a single digit number, add the digits to one another. For instance, if you have a double-digit number, add the number in the tens place to the number in the ones place. Keep adding digits in this manner until you have a single-digit answer. That final single digit is your digital root. Example, the digital root of 678 would be 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21, 2 plus 20 equals 3. You guys are gonna want to keep in mind the digital root. It's gonna be... that's one of the big puzzle pieces of this big escape room game. Therefore, the digital root of 678 is 3. Example, the digital root of 1, 2, 3, 4 would be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, 10, it's 1. Let's see. So I just keep adding numbers until I get a single digit number. Oh, looks like there's something on the back of this thing. A notebook, a pen, and a calculator. And a stack of key cards, huh? Oh. I'm just going to continue clicking. I will say that, like, one of the issues, like, I've tried to get my friends, like, they would come over to my house and I'll be like, hey, do you want to try this game? And then, like, they'll be just flooded with text. So, like, there is a lot of unskippable text. Unless I fast forward through it. In which case, I'm gonna see if there's a configuration for that. Any fast forward? It seems like my fast forward is tabbed, so I'm just gonna... There we go. Okay, we're just gonna be fast forwarding with tabs, so yeah. And it seems like this is where the second thing is. So this begins with that, so it's 7, 2, it's 7, 4, 8, 7, 4, 8, 5. Okay. And then, oh wait, we also need the red key. What the heck am I doing? Which means we have some things we're looking for. This is just like, yep, there was a lock on this one too, and it's not opening. Yeah, and we need to look for the red key as well. It's a closet. What corners have we yet to investigate? Oh, right, it's this area. There we go, we found the small key. Junpei grabbed the key and shoved it into his pocket. He intended to leave immediately, but something stopped him. His reflection stared back at him from the mirror, but he had scarcely recognized himself. What's up with my face? His confusion was well justified. His face was drawn and pale, and the dark circles under his eyes made him look as though he was nearly dead. Man, what the hell happened to me? How did I end up here? Even as he said it, something in his mind opened, and a memory bobbed to the surface. It was the last thing Junpei remembered before waking up in the strange room. It was past midnight when he came home. By the way, as we guys are playing this game, you guys are more than welcome to write your predictions for the plot and theories. Junpei shuffled up the stairs and opened the door to apartment 201. Inside was his apartment, a small one-bedroom affair that ran him about $630 a month. They probably translated it from yen. Junpei and most of the cast are Japanese. He moved into it when he entered college, and so far he'd been there for 3 years and 7 months. He stepped inside and turned on the lights. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling blinked and flickered slowly to life, as if waking from deep slumber. Their cold light illuminated a landscape he's come to know home to so many times before. Everything was as he'd left it. The magazines piled up in the corner, the textbooks were collecting dust, the CD cases covering the floor. The jeans and t-shirt he'd worn the day before had been tossed onto the floor. There was one thing that didn't belong, however. There was a breeze. Breaths of cold night air wafted into his apartment, carrying the smells of autumn with them. The white curtain framing his window swayed gently in the wind. Huh? That's weird. Did I leave that open? Junpei walked towards the window, trying to remember if he'd closed it or not before he left. One of the panes was hanging open. He stuck his head out and looked around. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Junpei shrugged. He must have just left it open earlier. He closed the window. Then it happened. Junpei turned and found himself face to mask with a man dressed all in black. The man wore a deep hood and a bulky gas mask. His face was entirely hidden. Junpei tried to scream, but all he could manage was a strangled croak. He tried to step toward the man, but his legs could no longer support his weight. Junpei collapsed to the floor, a crumpled heap of limbs like a discarded puppet. Too late, he noticed this white smoke that was quickly filling the apartment. A small object, shaped distressedly like a grenade, sat on the floor in front of his face, hissing. The white smoke poured out of it at an incredible rate. The smoke had grown so thick that the details of Junpei's apartment began to fade into the white haze. He could feel his mind begin to fade as well. A white haze that was not the smoke creeping into the edges of its vision.
Consider this a privilege. You have been chosen.
A rasping voice warped its way out of the gas mask. It was cold and harsh, and distorted in some way Junpei couldn't put his finger on.
You are going to participate in a game. The nonary game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line.
That was the last thing Junpei remembered. The white smoke overpowered him. The masked man faded from his vision, and he felt his consciousness fall away into the white mist. That's right. That guy with the gas mask. That son of a bitch must have taken me here. As to who the man was or might have been, Junpei had no idea. Indeed, he wasn't even sure his assailant had been a man. The voice had been cold and mechanical-like, likely pressed through a voice changer, and the body had been covered in a thick cloak. Who was the man in the mask? You have been chosen. Junpei remembered that much, but what it might mean, that was beyond him. Junpei had no idea where he was or why he was there. There was only one thing from his memory that seemed important.
You are going to participate in a game. The nonary game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line.
The nonary game, huh? What the hell is a nonary game? God damn it! With a yell, Junpei drove his fist into the mirror. Okay, we got our key. Now we know what we look like. We look like shit. And now it's time to insert the next password. Alright, let's stick that red key in there. It's not doing anything at all. Well, alright, I take it back. I guess I can move the dial now. So it looks like I'm gonna have to put in the right numbers and turn the key. I do that. This thing should pop right open. Let's give it a shot. Okay. It's 7485 if I remember correctly. Seems like I was correct. Yes! I unlocked it! It's opening. And we got a stack of red key cards. Which probably means we can operate this machine. These cards with numbers on them. Pretty sure this is where I'm supposed to use them. Alright, let's slide the card and see if it works. And... huh? It's not working. Why? Damn it! No, that's right. I still have cards I haven't used. Damn it! Not again! There aren't any more cards in here. I've only got one other hint. Of course, the files. The files said something about a digital root. Digital root. The digital root, huh? What am I supposed to do with... There's a 5 on that door. Do I have to get a digital root of 5? I'm not really sure about this. Whatever, it's worth a shot. Let's see if this works. I'll just slide the cards that give me the digital root of 5 through the reader. Okay. So we need 3 numbers that give us the number 5. In other words, we want the number 14. We want 14. So... we don't have... so I'm gonna do it by the process of elimination. 14... minus 8. 14 minus 8, I'm pretty sure that's 6. Yeah, it is 6. Do we have anything that's worth that can give us a 6? The answer is no. So that's not 8. If I use but... any other numbers give us, are there any other numbers that give us 14, 23? If I do 23 minus 8, that gives me, wow, my brain is a little, I'm trying to like figure out how to make it work, chat. 2 plus 3, 23 minus 18. I can only, I'm struggling with basic math right here. I am pretty sure it's 15. Do we have any numbers that give us 15? No. 8 plus 3 equals 11. Oh, wait. No, nope. Okay. Putting out random numbers is not going to do the trick here. And I do want to exercise my muscles as much as I can. 7 plus 8 equals 15. 1 plus 5 equals 6. And it gives us 3. 7, 8, 3 gives me 9. Okay, this isn't working. I need to exercise my brain here. I say exercise my brain, proceeds to not do that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so the highest sum we can get here is 21. What we want to aim for is 14. Because that's 6, 7, 8, that equals 21, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm wrong. Yeah, 21. So we have to do a combination here. This also works! I was just clicking things semi-randomly. Seems like I figured it out. Alright, I think it's gonna work. There we go, that's a new noise. Huh? Did it just unlock? Well, that was light on red and now it's blue. No doubt about it. There's nothing keeping me in here now. Time to go! The only door... And now we click the door. We get the funny animation, and we solved our first escape room. Yay! We did it! Accompanied by a wall of angry water, Junpei shot out of the room and into the opposing wall. Gasping to catch his breath, he looked around. He was in a narrow hallway. The water had followed him out of the room, was rapidly pouring out the door. He fell quickly into the hallway and slumped to the foot of the short flight of stairs. Just 5 steps, in fact, and at the top of the short staircase. A door! Another door! Junpei leapt up the stairs, staring toward the door. The door burst open, and Junpei exploded out of it, only to freeze in his tracks. What other possible response could there be to what he saw? What the hell? His voice trailed off, and all he could do was stare. A polished floor stretched out before him, ornate staircases rising up from the edges, each one of them equidistant from the others. The stairs and pillars were solid wood, and Art Nouveau embellishments and decorations covered the wall and pillars. It looked like nothing as so much as an entrance to a luxurious mansion from the early 1900s. Junpei couldn't help but wonder, was he really in a ship? The water quickly filling the hallway behind him suggested that yes, he was. As he looked, a fresh wave rolled out of the room he's been in, gathering speed as it moved towards the stairs. Yeah, that's what I thought. Just to show you guys, there's a bunch of tutorial stuff. So it seems like escape tips. Sometimes if you're bad enough in the game, the characters will just scream at you the hints. This is a totally... Oh, wait, what the hell? A wave! Shit, I gotta get out of here! Junpei spun around, his wet shoes squeaking protest on the polished floor, and ran towards a tremendous staircase in front of him. C-deck. D-deck. As he ran, he glanced quickly at the plates that mounted on the wall, denoting the decks of the ship. He took the stairs 2 at a time, not entirely sure where he would find himself. Just as he began to wonder where, in fact, the stairs did lead. Junpei saw another person out of the corner of his eye. He stopped short, nearly tripping over the next stair, and looked at it. It wasn't just one person he'd seen. On the landing of the left of the stairs, there were 4 people staring at him. And on the right side, 3 more. All told, there were 7 of them. It looked as though they'd been on their way down the stairs. They'd stopped short when they saw Junpei, their eyes wide. He'd done the same, of course. And they stood there, staring at one another. Junpei didn't move, one foot placed awkwardly on the next step, in the middle of a stride. Who were these people? This entire interaction lasted only a matter of seconds. The one spoke to Junpei and time began to move again. I guess there's another one of us now. Yeah. This is the very important important part of assigning voices to these characters. And it's been a while since I voiced them, but yeah. I guess there's another one of us now. The one was dressed, Junpei thought, rather like a dancer. Her clothes covered very little and her prodigious jewelry little more. Hey, you, come on! Hurry! With no further ceremony, she ran straight past Junpei towards the door behind him. The sudden proximity of the one with such striking assets left Junpei momentarily stunned. But the others wasted no time and quickly followed the strange woman. The first to pass Junpei was a young man with silver hair. He threw a quick glance at Junpei's direction as he ran, muttering, "One of us, huh?" Following him was an older man, his face calm and without fear. Soft wrinkles sprouted on his eyes, and he came close enough as he passed for Junpei to see wisps of gray in his hair. His composure and shock of hair struck Junpei like that of an elderly lion. Going up won't do you any good. There are 2 doors, but neither of them will open. Next to speak was a girl with pink hair and a high voice. Come on! Aren't you coming? You gotta hurry! Her small hand was wrapped around the wrist of another man. His eyes were closed, as though he was sleeping. His features were graceful, almost serene, and he was dressed rather elegantly for someone his age. Something about his posture was very refined, and Junpei couldn't feel like he's been noble and dignified somehow. He'd certainly never seen one, but this man seemed like is what Junpei would always described the prince would be like. That's 9 of us, huh? All of the cards are in hand. What does all the cards are in hand mean, he wondered. Junpei opened his mouth to ask what the other man had meant, but the girl with pink hair had brushed past him, and they were gone. There is a bit of weird anti-aliasing with these poses. But like, part of it was because of the pixel limitations. He turned just... oh shit, I need to... My throat is... This game is really taking a number on my throat. One of them had hair like a bird's nest and looked as though a stiff breeze might topple him. And then another was a veritable mountain of a man. The scrawny one said nothing and scuttled past Junpei as though he was running for something. Hey! What the hell are you just standing in there for? Didn't you hear him? The door on A deck. Doors on A deck are no good. You gotta check the doors on B deck. Got it? Now go! Before he had a chance to respond, the man laid a massive hand on Junpei's shoulder. With no more effort than Junpei would have used to brush aside a fly, the man shoved him out of the way. Shit, 999 thought it'd be Stariel. Yeah, I also need to change the... I also need to, change the, stream. It's because, There we go. I need to... I haven't changed the title yet, but yeah, you didn't miss much, Gamer Core. The main thing that I did was basically, yeah, the main thing I did, was basically, well, I played Balatro because Explode Things paid me to, with icicles, and, yeah. Today's September 1st, so I thought it'll be really nice to have 999 September. You know? And as for... yeah, this is a nice, yeah, I also already streamed Honkai Stariel. Stariel might be on Saturday, but I'll have to see. Because again, I think I'm setting it as a personal goal for myself to stream this game, to finish this game. before I finish the game, before the month ends. So we'll see. Whoa! Thrown off balance by the man in recent events, it took Junpei a few steps to get his bearings. He finally regained his balance and looked up, and the 7 others had been running towards. There were 2 pairs of large iron doors set into the wall in front of him. They looked quite sturdy, and each had handles jutting from them. Written across the surface of each door in red paint was a number. The door on the right had a 4, and the door on the left had a 5. They're the same. The guy Junpei had decided to call Silver muttered, was mumbling to himself. I woke up and had a number on the floor just like that. You too, eh? With an arched eyebrow, the lion looked over at Silver. My cell was the same. A number upon the door. I opened it, ran down the hallway outside, and found myself in a rather grand room full of stairs as I suspected the rest. As I suspect, did the rest of you. It was as though the floodgates have been opened. They all began to talk at once. Me too. I did too. Yeah, a door with a number on it. It soon became clear that each one of them had awoken in a room with a locked door and solved a puzzle to escape. They'd all ended up in the same room. Almost as though they'd been guided there. Yeah, we all saw the same thing. That's not important. Yeah. No, wait, I need to get into town. Yes, we all saw the same thing. That's not important. We need to hurry. You think I don't know that, lady? Before the dancer had time to finish, Silver was already running. He grabbed hold of the door and labeled 5 and pulled. However... Fuck! It's not opening! This damn thing won't even budge! Lou, you're in the way. Well, Severin's really gonna take a toll on my throat. I do have a water bottle, to be clear, but I'm probably gonna have to refill it in a bit. The mountain grabbed Silver's shoulder and tossed him aside. His path cleared, he took a few steps back and threw himself at the door. Once. Twice. 3 times. 4 times. The door shook as his body slammed into it, but showed no signs of breaking or opening. The mountain threw himself at the door again. Junpei ran towards door number 4. Next to the door on the wall was a small box. It looked just like the one he'd seen in his room next to the door. If it was the same, then this door was likely locked as well. Still, he had to check. Junpei grabbed the handle and threw all of his weight onto it. God! It was locked as tight as the door next to it, as he'd suspected. Damn it! Junpei punched the door. It did not respond. Were these the only doors, he wondered. He'd barely finished the thought when the C-deck plate he'd passed on his way up sprang unbidden to his mind. His body moved before he had time to think. Junpei turned and ran back towards the stairs. He had scarcely taken a step when, at the top of the stairs next to an ornate clock embedded to the wall, he saw a person. It was a girl. Okay, so while you guys are looking at the girl, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I'm also gonna put back the funny no music. back. My namesake on some parts of the internet. Anyways, I'm back. I got myself a snack and also went to the bathroom and filled water. We're only scratching the surface with this game. So yeah. It was a girl. She looked to be the same age as Junpei. He froze, unable to look away from her face. I also need to drink a bit of water because voice acting. Maybe I should voice act more. It encourages me to stay hydrated. No, there was another reason. He wasn't confined by her beauty or something equally silly. No, there was another reason why he couldn't take his eyes off the girl. Junpei had seen her somewhere before. He couldn't quite remember where, but he knew. He knew he'd met her before. The girl, too, stared at Junpei, similarly stunned. Her response suggested she'd seen him before as well. Without saying a word, Junpei walked slowly towards her. Don't have your neighbors yell at you again like Simeon. Yeah, I mean, my windows are closed, so I should be fine. Simeon was definitely a once and never again moment. She didn't move. It was almost as though she was held in place by some sort of magic spell. As Junpei stepped onto her landing, the spell broke. No sooner than he'd set his foot down, the whole ship shook a second time. Ah! The quake caught the girl unprepared, and she fell. Moving on instinct, Junpei leapt to catch her, or so he thought. Her face was far closer than it should have been, mere inches from his own. He was flat on his back, and she had landed squarely on top of him. The girl seemed as confused as he did, and her face suggested she still hadn't fully recovered from seeing him. For a moment, that seemed like a stretch of a very long time, they stared at one another. The ship stopped shaking. Everything was quiet. Water could be heard from the bottom of the ship. Lapping faintly at the walls and ceilings, but eventually that faded as well. The silence was complete, a thick, muffling blanket. At last the girl opened her mouth. Oh my gosh. Is that you, Junpei? Junpei. Her words echoed through Junpei's head, and suddenly his memory returned. Akane? Why hadn't he realized it before? And the girl was Akane Kurashiki. She and Junpei had been friends since childhood. They gone to elementary school together and for 6 years. But what was she doing here on that ship? Here's the thing. I'm actually not sure how you pronounced Akane. Because I used to call it Akane, but I don't know if that's like the proper way, how do you pronounce it? Well, according to YouTube, it's...
Welcome to this pronunciation video. Today we will be focusing on a new word...
That's what Junpei says in VLR. I see.
...that you might find
Akane in Japanese.
Let's say it all together. Akane.
Akane. It's...
Akane.
Akane. Okay, so I did say it right. It's Akane. No, it's Akane. It's not Akane, it's Akane. He could feel the warmth of her face. Feelings he thought long forgotten began to work their way up to the surface. Yeah, her nickname is Canny. He said he could feel his face heating up. At that moment, a speaker crackled to life and a cold, eerie voice filled the room.
Welcome abroad. I welcome you all, from the bottom of my heart, to this, my vessel.
With the voice's invasion, the spell between Akane and Junpei was broken. Between Junpei and Akane was broken, and all hints of burgeoning romance instantly forgotten. They hurriedly entangled themselves from one another and strangled to their feet. Their 7 companions have heard the voice as well, and many of their faces have gone pale. They looked around frantically, desperate to relocate the source of the voice. At last they found it. A speaker said in the ceiling,
I am Zero, the captain of this ship.
She's still doing the accent even after correcting herself. I'm sorry, English is not my native language, as neither is Japanese.
I am also the person who invited you here.
Is your native language soup? Akane, not Akane. 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 The voice was harsh, obscured occasionally by a crackle of static. But Junpei recognized it. How could he have forgotten it? Weird soup. It was the same voice he heard from the man in a gas mask. Hey, asshole! What the hell is this? Come on out of here. I want to get a look at you. Oh. What do you mean to do to us?
I mean to have you participate in a game.
Good Soup worked on Venture Bros.
Some of you I know are familiar with this game, the Nonary game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line.
Nonary game?
What the hell is that?
The voice continued, implacable.
The rules of the Nonary game can be found upon your persons. They are simple rules. Read them.
Nonary game? Hey, there's something in my pocket. Check this out. Silver reached into his pocket and pulled out a small slip of paper. The rest of them reached into their own pockets and pulled out a similar slips of paper. Junpei followed suit and dug into the pocket of his pants. He felt the telltale crumple of paper, slightly damp from the earlier ordeal. Hey, I got one too! It would seem Zero. Then it would seem Zero had seen fit to grace us, each with a letter. Would you mind terribly reading it to us, young man? His request has been delivered to Junpei, who, after a short moment of surprise, did as he'd been asked. On this ship, you'll find a handful of doors emblazoned with numbers. We will call them number doors. The doors in front of you are a pair of the same. The key to opening these number doors are the numbered bracelet that each of you possess. Should you hold the numbers on your number bracelets and find the digital root of that number is equal to the number of that door, the door will open. Only those who have opened the door may pass through. There are, however, limits. Only 3 to 5 people can pass through one numbered door. All those who enter must leave, and all those who enter must contribute. Bracelet, Junpei figured, had to mean the bulky thing on his wrist. He glanced around. It looked like everyone else had one as well, and he had come to much the same conclusion. The purpose of this game is simple. Leave the ship alive. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek out a door that carries a 9. Junpei has reached the end of the letter. There was a long moment of silence, and then the speaker crackled to life once more.
There is one last thing I must tell you. As you have no doubt surmised, the ship has begun to sink. On April 14th, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into an iceberg. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic. I will give you more time. 9 hours. That is the time you'll be given to make your escape.
That voice finished, and the speaker went silent. The sound of the bell echoed through the hall. It came from the dance hall adjacent to the stairwell. It took those assembled on the stairs mere moments to trace sound on an antique clock embedded in the wall. 7, 8, 9. The sound of the 9th bell faded away. The 10th never came. That meant the time was 9 o'clock. Most likely 9 o'clock in the evening. When Junpei had peered out of the window of the cell, he'd seen nothing but blackness. It had to be nighttime. If that was the case, then they would need to escape by 6 a.m. in the following day.
Now it is time. Let our game begin. I wish you all the best of luck.
Man, I'm eating marzipan chocolate, and I don't even like marzipan. It's also the chocolate is a bit dry. It's not expired, I checked, but some of the cocoa butter went up to the surface, and now it has a bit of a I don't want to call it dusty. It has a bit of a drier texture. You don't like chocolate. Impressive. Silver yelled at the speaker with a language coarse enough to embarrass a Vivzi-Pop character, but the rest of Junpei's companions were silent, deep in thought. Junpei, too, was consumed by his thoughts. There was a great deal he didn't understand. Who was Zero? What was the nonary game? Why had he chosen to make them part of it? Was he a criminal who took delight in playing with his victims? Lol, roasting the bitch. I mean, she deserves it. I'm a hater, chat. You know it. Was he a criminal who took delight in playing with his victims, or did he have some other purpose? And why had Junpei been chosen as part of this insane game? Why had any of them been chosen? But one question was foremost on his mind. Akane. They hadn't seen each other since elementary school. Why had she appeared now? Coincidence? No, that seemed impossible. There had to be a reason. He didn't know what it might be, but there had to be a reason. Very well. The lion's voice seemed oddly loud in the silence. Standing around won't do us any good. Best we get moving, don't you think? Get moving? Are you planning to open the numbered doors? Hey, wait! Don't tell me you're actually going to do what this Zero says! No, that's not what I mean. The lion shook his head, mildly annoyed. I'm saying let's find another way. After all, we haven't really examined this place yet. What? Oh, it's we what? Their separate investigations finished, all 9 people returned to where they left one another. The result of all their work was nothing. They were completely sealed in. Their hard work had not gone completely to waste, however. They had learned a number of things as they secured the parts of the ship they could reach. It seemed that they were confined to decks A through C. C deck was as far as they would be able to go, however. The reason being, that D deck was completely submerged. Strangely, however, the water had risen no higher than D deck. The flow seemed to have stopped somehow, as evidenced by the surface of the water in D deck, which was smooth as glass. The prince knelt down and gently drew his hand across it. Perhaps this Zero fellow has used some sort of remote control to seal the watertight door lower down. He said that our time limit was 9 hours. In other words, this water won't rise for 9 hours. Then you're saying we won't sink till then? Well, that may be a little too optimistic. No point to wishful thinking. There were 3 metal doors on C deck. A single door stood off to the side, with 2 more in the wall facing the central staircase. None of them had numbers or verification devices. They were, however, locked like the other doors. No matter how much they pushed and shoved, the doors refused to move. The mountain and the lion threw themselves against them a few times, but to no avail. The door in the back had a keyhole. Just above it there was a strange mark in the shape of a circle surrounding a dot. There were 2 other doors on the C deck as well, but it was clear they were elevators, as each of them had a button next to it with an upside-down triangle. They tried pushing the button. No response. Apparently there was no power running to the elevators. To the left of the elevator doors was a card reader. The card reader also had a strange mark on it. It looked like a lowercase h with a dash across the upper stem of the H. Junpei stared at it for a while.
This is the symbol of Saturn. It's an astrological symbol.
Then, the mark on the other door.
I think that's the sun symbol.
They had seen the same symbols on deck. There was a door on either side of the stairs. The door on the left had a keyhole with a similar symbol engraved on it.
This is the Earth symbol. The horizontal line symbolizes the equator and the vertical line represents the prime meridian.
Junpei looked up at the ceiling. You know, Akane no, man, I can't shake bad habits. Akane had Akane gives me astrology major vibes. Astrology girly vibes. There was a great circle cut on it, or like maybe astronomy. Because technically astrology is more like zodiac symbols and this is star symbols. There was a great circle cut in it. No, you had it correct, then you went back to the wrong one. Akane. What the fuck? Yeah. There was a great circle in it, but perhaps for a skylight of glass dome, but it had been filled with a gargantuan metal plate. What the fuck? No. It's Akane. Akane? Hold on.
Let's say it all together. Akane.
Akane. Akane. The metal looked very solid. Anything short of an explosive charge wasn't likely to damage it. There were several windows along both sides of the ship, or at least there had been. They too were covered with metal plates. In other words, we were trapped. All the exits go nowhere. Junpei was not happy. The girl with the pink hair spoke up.
Well, I'm sure they go somewhere. We just can't open them.
Then the mountain spoke. The woman can't say my username on our mutual server. No. You don't know that. For all we know, they just open into walls or take us in circles. The prince did not agree. No, I'm sure they go somewhere. Otherwise, what point would there be? And we can open them. Well, 2 of them at least. You mean the numbered doors? All eyes turned towards the doors with numbers on them. The atmosphere in the room grew tense. Hey, wait a minute! I think I said this earlier, but I don't think we should do that. The dancer moved in front of the doors as if to block them. We'd have to be crazy to open these doors. If we do that, we're doing exactly what Zero wants us to do. Suddenly everyone began to speak at once. I agree. I don't. That's a terrible idea. We should keep going. We should stay here. We don't have any other way to open any of these doors. We should just wait. Someone's bound to find us. We don't have time for that. In 8.5 hours, the ship is going to sink. The clamor of voices made it next to impossible to determine who was saying what. Their arguments grew more and more intense until people were shouting and screaming at one another. Junpei had remained silent, but at last he could take no more. Hey! Shut up! They fell silent. All eyes turned to Junpei. He felt each stare burning into him, but he refused to flinch. Before we try and decide where we're going to go. Wow, my brain is not working. Phrasing. Before we try and decide where we're going to go, there's something else we ought to do.
What's that?
We need to exchange information. We don't know anything about each other. I want to know who you guys are. Who you are, where you came from, how you ended up here. Don't tell me you aren't curious too. They were silent. Some of them looked the other way but bit their lip or crossed their arms and stared at the ceiling. But one of them spoke up. It was Akane. It was Akane.
I agree. I think Junpei is right.
Junpei?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking about him. I just call him Junpei. His name is Junpei.
She pointed towards Junpei.
We're childhood friends. We went to the same elementary school.
I give up. Yeah, I don't think I can do it. My native language is soup. Wait, stop! Don't tell us stuff we didn't ask you about. Zero's probably watching us right now. What are you gonna do if he's listening in? Slurpees.
Would that be bad?
Hell yeah, it would. We don't know much about how much the bastard knows about us. Maybe he just picked a bunch of random people to kidnap. If that is the case, then it'd be dangerous for us to let him know too much. Slurpees would be bad, noted. If Zero knows who we are, he could go after our families. Maybe he tell us he had him to get us. Maybe he tell us he had him to get us to do stuff, you know?
We still don't know what our names are.
I really like this sprite of Akane. Of Akane. Oh, it's Akane. It's not Akane. It's Akane. But we still don't know what our names are.
But we still know what our names are.
I really like her sprite. She looks like a wet cat.
It's going to be hard to talk to each other if we don't have names.
Alright, then why don't we use code names? To him, apparently, it seemed like an obvious solution.
Code names?
Yeah, like the game. We're about to play it. Yeah, we'll each pick something. Like, I'll be 7. She might get wet. Seven? Why are you 7? Seemed like a fair question. Then he pointed to his left arm. Because the bracelet number says 7. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's a good idea. He smirked. Alright, I'm gonna be Santa. All of you chumps know Japanese? No? Well, san means 3, so I'll be Santa. You? You know, like Santa Claus. Fits, don't you think? Then you're a bracelet number. Yeah, it's got a 3 on it. Good job, Grandpa. Just like the mountain had done, Silver thrust out his left hand. The infamous line. Yeah, the line is also really funny in Japanese because it's a big wordplay. But like, any of you chumps know Japanese is really funny because all of them, I think... all of them know Japanese. And I know that, like, specifically, actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna follow by my own rule. Yeah, all of them know Japanese. Sure enough, the face of the bracelet had said 3. Very well then, I'll go next, shall I? My bracelet number is 1. Given that, I think Ace seems appropriate. I'll be Lotus then. I'm sure you all know it has 8 petals, which means, of course, that my bracelet number is 8. I would appreciate if you would call me Snake. My bracelet number is 2. Since Ace has chosen cards, I've chosen dice. Snake Eyes, which is, yeah, the goats, which is particularly irrelevant given that I'm blind. Blind, really? He kept his eyes closed during the entire ordeal, which had suggested something strange, but to hear him said so casually was something of a surprise. Everyone seemed a little nervous at the prince's proclamation, but no one seemed to know how to react to it. There was one person, however, who didn't seem surprised at the least. The girl with the pink hair. I love 999's track. The other 2 games have some stinkers, but the 999 has a strong set. Yeah. Listen, it's been years since I played 999. So I'm really excited to see how the cast holds up.
I want to be Clover. You know, like a 4-leaf clover. Good luck, right?
Man, the anti-aliasing on like the DS sprites it makes her chin look so weird. It's one of those things that like looks fine in the game, but like in the port it just looks like Snake has like his chin is sliced weird, and like Clover like has a big giga chin. Looking almost worse, she held out her left hand. The face on her bracelet showed the number 4. He'd come around to Junpei. He held out his bracelet. Alright, my number's 5, so my codename is gonna be...
Why have one?
Why have one? Can't you fix that in the emulator? I can do that? Hold on. Emulation settings. How do I do that? Is it like in tools? View memories, palette, tiles, maps, cheats, RAM launch, view layers. It was gonna be hand according to devs. I thought it was Penta, but hand also works for him. Oh, welcome to this stream. I'm trying to figure out how to fix maybe it's simulation mode? Oh shit, it's no! Fuck! Fuck! No! Oh my god, did I? No, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't save! I didn't want to reset the game! Please! No! No! Yeah, it is this movie. Well, this movie's 3D model surprise. 3D modes. Okay. It's fine. We'll do it. I'll just use the tab and just fast forward until we do it. It's fine. We're just gonna speedrun. Man, that stank. Is it 3D settings? Open GL mode supports multi-sampling anti. Multi-sampling anti-aliasing. Whoopsie. This is why you don't do this kind of shit. Man, I'm just so upset with myself. Unless... Yeah, where did it put me? Oh my god! Mistakes were made. There's gotta be a quicker way to fast forward through this. Yeah, we're doing Something told me not to tell you since you're bad with tech, but I'm really bad. Yeah. I even forgot to save. Wow, that's just... It's fine. I can solve this puzzle. Okay, so the good news is that I actually wrote the password, so this is gonna go faster. Okay. So, for the red one... Okay, cool. So the game isn't limiting my process, so it's 7845. Wait, what? Oh, it's 7-4. There we go. We're catching up, chat. Pretty sure you might have to mess with your settings, but I don't want you to restart again, lol. Yeah, no, sorry, chat. You're gonna have to to cope with the weird sprites. Who needs a screwdriver? I remember how to solve this game. I'm pretty sure it's 176. Yeah, it's 176. Because we want a digital route. Yeah, we want 14. Oh, I don't need to screw around anymore. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do a quick save-a-rooney because I fucked up. No, we want to continue. My hand is hurting from all the clicking I have to do. I like all the music is just getting like reduced to a bunch of noise. That's funny. Okay. Okay. We did it. I'm gonna save again for good measure. Yeah, I was like, this took. This game is speedrunnable. We have what? It's not like there's any point to it now. The dancer cut him off mid-sentence. I mean, we all know your name already. You're Junpei. Oh. They all nodded. Akane. Is it Akane? God, I can... Akane. Akane stepped forward nervously.
You should all call me by my name too. Because... it doesn't seem...
It doesn't seem fair to Junpei. You're thinking it's not cool for you to hide your name after you told us his? Akane, stop putting so much emphasis on K. Akane? Akane. Akane fidgeted awkwardly. Junpei decided he had to do something. What's her bracelet number?
It's 6.
She hesitated for a moment and held out her left hand. As she claimed, her bracelet's name showed a 6. Junpei looked at it a moment and thought, alright then, why don't we call you June? June? Yeah, you know, it's the 6th month of the year. So you're June.
Junpei.
Akane needed her hands and looked up at Junpei uncertain. He smiled back at her reassuringly. Are you good with that? She thought about it for a few more minutes and then seemed to come to a decision, giving Junpei a small nod. Their names decided, Junpei ran over them quickly in his head. 1 was Ace. 2 was Snake. 3 was Santa. 4 was Clover. 5 was Junpei's number. Akane was 6, and Junpei has given her the codename of June. 7 was 7, and 8 was Lotus. That meant that 8 of them, including Junpei, had revealed their bracelet numbers. But there was still one person left. He was the man with the glasses and hair like a bird's nest. He hadn't said anything since they met on the stairs, and he didn't look like the sort of person who was inclined to conversation. His skin was pale, his breathing was heavy, and he looked like he was soaked with nervous sweat. His behavior seemed very suspicious, or perhaps simply emotionally unstable. It was difficult to tell. Whatever the case, it seemed clear that he only had a fingertip's worth of a grip on his sanity. The girl with pink hair, Clover, walked up to him slowly. She put her hand on her hips and eyed him suspiciously. What number are you? He didn't answer. His bloodshot eyes twitched from person to person, and his breath came in hot pants.
Hey, I'm talking to you.
The man licked his dry lips with a shaking tongue and spoke with a voice like an old paper. Isn't it obvious? There are 9 people here. And you know numbers 1 through 8 are. I'm the only one left.
So you're 9?
Yeah. He extended his trembling arm. The bracelet did indeed say 9. Clover looked at it contemptuously.
What's your code name?
Code name?
What do you want us to call you? We all made up names. You should too.
I don't need one.
Why not?
Because I'm not going to stay here with you. He took a shuddering breath and exhaled. Clover looked at him with something very like disgust.
You got some sort of plan?
I do.
Yeah? What's that?
You sure you want to know?
Yeah?
Alright, let me show you. I'm going to do this! By the time they realized what he was doing, it was too late to stop him. The man's body moved like a snake's. In the blink of an eye, he slid behind her and warped his arm around her waist. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing?
Silver, Santa, leapt forward towards Clover and the ninth man. He was halfway there when...
Stay back!
Suddenly the man's hand drove into his pocket. It came back with a knife. A pocket knife. He held it to Clover's pale, quivering neck.
If you get any closer, I'll cut her open!
Santa skidded to a halt. He snarled at the scrawny man with the knife and gritted his teeth.
Yes, that's right.
The man's smile was neither friendly nor reassuring. Sweat poured down his neck, soaking the collar of his shirt.
Clover, are you all right?
The prince, Snake's voice, sounded oddly concerned. Yeah, I'm fine. Her voice shook, making her words even less convincing.
What the hell are you trying to do? I told you. This is my plan. What are you gonna do to her, you sick son of a bitch? Don't worry. I'm not going to do anything to her. She just does what I tell her to do. I'll let her go.
He started to move backwards, slowly keeping his grip on Clover. Keeping her distance, Junpei and the others followed. The man reached the wall. He gave his start to his back, touched it, then glanced around quickly and spoke.
Verify.
Huh?
Left. Look onto your left. You see the device on the wall? Place your hand on the scanner panel. The round part.
What if I don't? The man's nostrils flared and he looked like he was about to choke.
Are you an idiot? What do you think? I could slit your throat right now. I'll kill you if I have to. All I need is your bracelet. Just do it! Do it now!
He pressed the knife against Clover's neck hard. Slowly, she stretched her left hand out of it towards the device. Her back was to it, and she had to feel around for a moment before she found the circular panel. It made a cold electronic noise, and the display above her hand, an asterisk appeared. So that's how it worked, Junpei thought to himself. Replacing one's palm into the ninth man had called the scanner panel. The user's bracelet number would be entered into the device.
Should you total the numbers on your number bracelets? And find a digital grid of your numbers equal to the number of that.
Door. The door will open.
Junpei shifted his eyes towards the door itself. The number on it was 5. The ninth man seemed to know little more about the device's operation than he should. Now he had known exactly what to do.
Good, you're done. Next.
His bloodshot eyes crept from person to person until finally they stopped on the line Ace.
You, right? You're the one with the number 1 bracelet, right? Yes, I am. So? And you're next. Just verify the number like that little brat did. What are you doing? Do it! Don't you care what happens to her? Okay, just calm down.
Ace held up his hands, palms out. The ninth man jerked his chin towards the device. Slowly, cautiously, Ace moved towards the device. After what seemed like an agonizing eternity, he reached it.
Now verify.
Ace nodded and placed his hand on the scanner panel. The device beeped again, and a second asterisk appeared. Now the device had Clover and Ace's numbers, 4 and 1. 4 plus 1 equals 5. The same number was written on the door, but it wouldn't just open just yet.
Only 3 to 5 people can pass through the numbered door.
The door needed at least one more person. Who would that be? Get back. His voice shook, but the knife that held Clover's throat made his words a command. Math visual novel. Yep, this is the math visual novel. Ace took 2 and then 3 steps back. No! Farther! More than that! Go all the way back! Slowly, Ace did what he was told. The 9th man's lips curled into a cruel, twisted smile. That was when Junpei understood his plan. Clover's 4 and Ace's 1. Added to the 9th man, then to the 9th man's 9. 4 plus 1 equals 9, plus 9 equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. In other words... Thank God, we're all so cooperative. Now I can get out of this nightmare. He pressed his own hand against the scanner panel. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. He dropped his hand on a lever on the side of the device and pulled. The door opened with a heavy metallic groan. He let go of Clover. Wait! Junpei leapt towards the 9th man, but he wasn't fast enough. The man shoved Clover and hopped through the door. Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm gonna go off ahead now. Well then, goodbye. He raised his hand and waved, a twisted smirk on his face. Then he was gone. The door ground shut with a dull clang of metal on metal. Clover! Are you all right? Snake ran to Clover's side as she lay on the floor. Yeah, I'm fine. She climbed unsteadily to her feet, and then once there, leaned on heavily on Snake's shoulder for support. Junpei ran to the door. The others followed him. Several pairs of hands grabbed hold of the handles and pulled. They grunted and strained, but... Shit! It won't budge! That was when Lotus, the dancer, spoke. Her voice was quiet. Do you hear something? Like what? Like some sort of beeping. Junpei prescribed his ear against the cold metal of the door. The others did the same. You're right, I can hear it too. What is it? Then they heard something else. It was the 9th man. Shit! Why isn't it stopping? God damn it! You lied! Lied? This wasn't supposed to happen! This is wrong! This is wrong! His voice shook with fear. Safe on the outside, they stepped back from the door and looked at one another.
What is happening in there?
Open the door! Please! I'm begging you. Help me! Please, get me out of here! Get me out of here! Junpei grabbed hold of the device. He slammed his hand on the scanner panel. Nothing happened. Why didn't it register him? He looked at the display where there were asterisks shown up. It said engaged. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's no time left. Listen! I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him! Ah! Yeah!
Wow, that really destroyed my throat.
The explosion rocked the room. Instinctively, they ducked and stood up, and slowly, when they realized there was no danger. Instinctively, they ducked and stood up slowly when they realized there was no danger. No one spoke. Silence filled the room. In fact, in that silence, the electronic tone that echoed across the room was as loud as a gunshot. All eyes turned toward it. It had come from the device mounted next to the door. The display changed from engaged to vacant.
Let's see if we can open it.
7. The mountain swallowed hard. Junpei nodded and placed his hand on the scanner panel. A red asterisk appeared on the LCD panel. The device had registered Junpei's bracelet number, 5.
What happened to your mic? I don't know what happened to my mic. Did something happen to my mic? Maybe I was speaking too loud, well, I think I accidentally misclicked and now it was just really loud. Are you just talking quieter? Yeah, for some reason it was like a negative 18 dB when it's on negative 18 decibels, which is weird. Is it better now? I think maybe I was talking a little quieter, but I fixed my mic now. Also, I see it's peaking a bit, so I'm gonna lower it by a tad. Yeah, exactly. I just needed to... maybe I misclicked.
It was not enough, however. At least 2 more people were needed. Junpei asked. Which pair?
Okay, Chad, who do we want? So we're 5. 1 plus 8 equals 9, so we can have Ace and Lotus, Snake and 7, or Santa and June. This choice doesn't really matter. I'm saying this up front. But I'm gonna ask chat which pairing we should take. If not, then I'm gonna spin a wheel. I'm gonna give you a minute to pick one of the choices. I think you know my answer. Yeah, I do, but I want to see from someone else. Okay. Okay, I don't see anyone is answering, so I'm just gonna pick. Oh shit, this is let's have option 3. We can always trust June, can't we? Santa and June, think you can give me a hand here? The pun was a little too on the nose, but the mood was still grim. Both Santa and June lifted her left hand silently. He verified. She then followed suit. 5 plus 3 equals 6, plus 6 equals 4. Okay, math. You guys can read the math. They fulfilled the conditions. If they were to pull the lever on this side. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna open it. Junpei grabbed the lever and then looked back over his shoulder. They stiffened and nodded. Junpei nodded back and set his mouth in a grim line. Then he slowly lowered the lever. Everything's gonna be fine, Chad. He's gonna make it to the end of it. There was a metallic groan and the door slid open. And now you guys are gonna understand why this game is rated M for mature. A breath of air drifted out of it, carrying a stench that nearly made them gag. Junpei grimaced and put a hand over his mouth. Oh my god. Good god. Lotus and Ace shuddered. 7 grunted. Oh, that's pretty bad. Even Santa's voice shook. He blew up. It appeared as if Santa was right.
The hallway on the other side of the door was splattered with chunks of torn flesh and dark red blood. The shriek echoed across the room. It had come from June. Then her strength left her and she dropped. As Junpei turned to catch her, the door groaned shut. She crumpled onto the floor. June, you okay? Junpei dropped to his knees and put his arm around her shoulders. That was when he noticed. Her whole body was feverish. She was radiating intense heat. What the hell? Where did the fever come from? June didn't answer. Her face looked like wax, and her whole body began to shake. Alright, let's just rest for a minute, okay? You think I can walk? She nodded weakly. Junpei lifted June to her feet and guided her to the nearby chair. Here we go. As gently as he could, he set her down on it. Man, I'm not gonna this is gonna be uber duper light spoilers for not only this game but 100 line Last Defense Academy. Because this game also had like 2 childhood friend characters and that had memories and the female childhood friend in 100 line also had mysterious fevers that she had to deal with. That seems to be an Uchikoshi trope, and if there's one thing I know about Uchikoshi and Kodaka is that they sure do love their tropes. How are you feeling? Are you alright? She nodded, and as she did, a single huge tear rolled into the side of her face. Why did this happen? Her voice cracked, broken by misery and grief, and choked by sobs. Why did this happen? Junpei spun around. Do any of you know what the fuck is going on in here? Who's Zero? What's this nonary game? Come on, anybody! Anything? What the hell is going on here? What are we doing here? No one spoke. Ace, Snake, Senna, Clover, 7 Lotus. They simply stood there. 7 pairs of downcast eyes and 7 grim lines for mouths. June's body shook with silent sobs. They slowed. As the minute ticked by, and eventually they stopped. Then suddenly, in the cold, heavy silence that had enveloped them like a thick fog, a bell began to ring. The clock in the central hall. 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And then on the 10th ring it stopped. The sound of the bell faded away into silence. It's 10 o'clock then, Ace said with what each one of them had been thinking. That means that it's been an hour since Zero's little announcement. 7's deep voice echoed across the room. Fuck! I've had enough of this crap! Santa leapt to his feet, his fists clenched. How long are you gonna pussyfoot around like this? We've only 8 hours until the time limit Zero is going on about is up. Let's get going already! Go! Go! Santa's outburst fell on deaf ears. No one seemed to agree with him. They stared back at him, their eyes blank and their faces tired. Finally, Lotus spoke. No, I refuse. I'm not going to end up like him. Him? You mean the 9th man? Of course. Who else? In his mind's eye, Junpei saw the corpse again. The dark reddish-black pool of blood. The scattered pieces of flesh. Organs strewn across the floor like a blossoming of a grotesque flower. The explosion that has torn off through his body has been powerful. The 9th man's neck has been twisted at an odd angle. Yeah, this is, again, no spoilers in chat, and this game has some moments of gore. Junpei suspected a detonation has thrown him against a wall. Half of his face was crushed, and the other half was covered in blood. Most of his abdomen has been emptied, either by the explosion or by gravity. He had landed on his back, and stark white ribs jutted out of his chest, like the legs of some macabre crab. Junpei felt something flip in his stomach. I think he just screwed up. Eyebrows went up and Santa continued. He probably set up some sort of trap and that killed him. I'm not gonna screw up like that. I'm getting out of here alive. Whatever Snake was laughing at, Santa did not find particularly humorous. What's so goddamn funny? Oh, my apologies. You were just so very confident. I couldn't help myself. What the fuck? I think you've mistaken the situation. Huh? The ninth man's death? It had nothing to do with the trap, or at least not the sort of trap you imagine it did. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're currently streaming 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 door. Please stick around as we uncover the mystery. He broke one of Zero's rules. That was why he died. Quite simple if you think about it. You still don't? All right. How about you take a moment and think back to what Zero said? Specifically, what he said about the number of people. He said only 3 to 5 people can pass through one number door. Right? And after that? You've forgotten the relevant part. What did Zero say? Santa furrowed his brow in thought. Junpei thought back. Zero said that everyone who verified had to go. I'm not gonna be stupid. I'm gonna answer the right question. All those who enter must leave, and all those who enter must contribute. Right? I think it was something like that. Whatever it was, it means that groups of less than 3 or more than 5 can't go through. That is correct. A gold star for you, Junpei. Snake inclined his head towards Junpei. The ninth man, however, broke that rule. He tried to pass through a number door by himself. That was why he was executed. And Zero's watching us from somewhere, making sure we don't break any rules. Oh, I'm not so sure about that. Why not? Speaking of, I want to save once more. Better safe than sorry. Also, this little jingle of the saving, it's also used in I, the Somnium Flies, in case, if I remember correctly. Because this execution system is entirely automatic. You didn't notice? There's no need for him to monitor us. What do you mean? Snake looked at Seven with what he could only describe as pity inside. Better safe than sorry. Yeah, we learned the lesson. Very well. I will. I see it must be me who tells you. I've waited long enough, I suppose. I'd hoped Zero might spare me the trouble, so that seems increasingly unlikely. He couldn't see them, of course, but perhaps Snake sensed the confused eyes upon him. He's an empath, I think. I'm an empath, gang. That's how I compensate for my blindness. When I spoke, he gave words to everyone else's thoughts. Do you know something? Well, I know a great many things, but yes. What is it that you know? Here. Snake removed the card from the pocket of his jacket, which flourish he presented to Ace, who took a close look at it and spoke. Come on now, what's the point of giving me this? Give me that. Santa scratched the card from Ace, and his expression of disgust clearly quick to turn to one of confusion. Huh? The hell is this? Seven tugged it out of Santa's hands. I see. The card went from Seven to Lotus, and from Lotus to June, and finally to Junpei. He looked at it and understood. This is Braille. Braille, the written language of the blind. The card was covered with small embossed bumps. Junpei could recognize it, but he certainly couldn't read it. Sorry guys, I can't read this. Junpei handed the card back to Snake, who nodded at him with a small smirk. Okay, that was fun. What's so important about this card? I found it in my pocket. I can only assume it was a message from Zero. From 0. A message? What does it say? Suddenly, everyone was crowding around Snake, desperate to hear what the message said. Santa especially looked as if he was about to grab a hold of Snake and shake the answers from him. Snake raised his hand. Calm down now. No need to panic. You don't need to force me, I'll read it. Junpei swallowed hard and waited for him to start. He was not the only one. Precisely, Snake began to read, his voice calm. His fingers glided over the tiny bumps as he spoke. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game, by the way. Bracelet number 2. Since you're not blessed with sight, I shall bless you and only you with information. I shall tell you the function of the red, of the dead, and of the bracelet. The red is the recognition device. It will verify your number, because every number door you will find is a red. The dead is the deactivation device. It does exactly what it says. Once you have passed through the number door, you must use the dead to stop the detonator in your bracelet. But perhaps you are wondering, what does this detonator detonate? I am afraid that something may be of a surprise. I have placed a small bomb inside all of you, and the people of whom we're about to meet. The killer used bombs, no further questions. Wait, that's not how the quotes that's not how the quote goes. I'll look for it. Small bombs is also like a trope in killing games. There we go. It's from him. It's from them. Hold on. Small bombs were used. I refuse to explain. You swallowed it while you were unconscious. I have no doubt that by that time you read the note, the bomb will have passed your stomach and find your way to your small intestine. In other words, you will be unable to regurgitate it. I suggest you do not try.
But can we shit out the bomb?
As I mentioned before, the bracelet on your left hand contains a detonator. Think of it as a removable fuse or timer for the bomb in your body.
Chat, do you think they can shit out the small bombs? That's a question for you while I do the reading.
There's only one condition which will cause it to detonate. That condition is that you enter a number door. Once you've done so, the timer will activate, no matter who you may be. You will have 81 seconds.
The digital route is 9.
If, after that time, the detonator has not been activated, it will send a signal to the bomb in your body, instructing it to explode. In order to deactivate the detonator, every person who verified their number at the red must also verify their number at the dead. Once all the numbers have been verified by the dead, you need only pull the lever at its side. The countdown will cease. Anyone who does not verify their number at the red will find themselves unable to verify the number at the dead. That is to say, if you should pass through a number door without first verifying your number at the red, 81 seconds you will be dead. You must also keep in mind that the number doors will close automatically after 9 seconds have passed. As long as the door is open, the dead will not function. Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1, you escape the ship. 2, your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship or detects the wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically. There is no other way to remove your bracelet. If you attempt to force it off or disable the detonator, the bomb within you will immediately explode. This is all the information which I can impart to you. choose to use it is for you to decide. If used wisely, you can eliminate those who might be in danger for you. For time, you would be able to control your fate. I wish you the best of luck. Snake finished reading and carefully returned the card to his pocket. The message has been lengthy, but the messaging was clear. Only those who verified their numbers at the red could pass through the numbered doors. Teams could not increase or decrease their numbers. The reds and deads and bracelets had enforced the rules. They were judge, jury, and executioner. In defiance of Zero's suggestions, both Santa and Seven put fingers down on their throats and began to gag. I don't know why that's so funny. The rest stiffened. Some touched their stomach. Some simply stared at their bracelets. Junpei gingerly touched his stomach. There was a bomb inside of his body. The thought of it made him queasy. Yeah, sorry, I'm just talking about something. His stomach felt oddly hollow and his legs were weak. Why had Zero designed such a ludicrous game? Junpei looked over to the others. Alright, I'm gonna ask one more time. Do any of you know anything about Zero? They were all silent, each person waiting to hear what the others would say. Finally, Santa spoke. Actually, I saw him. I saw Zero when I got grabbed. I didn't see his face, though. Son of a bitch was wearing some kind of gas mask. What the hell? Come on, guys, give me something. You know, like, surprise me or something. Indeed, it was Santa who looked surprised. There was a moment of silence, and then everyone spoke at once. Yeah, I saw him too. Me too! He was wearing a gas mask. As stories were sorted out, the truth became clear. All their stories were the same. They had been abducted at home at midnight. The person claiming to be Zero had worn a mask. There had been white smoke, and then each person had passed out. When they awoke, they had found themselves on D-Deck, in a room with a 3-level bunk bed. Only 7 stories seemed to lack the detail of the others. Oh, me? Yeah, well, mine was just like the rest of yours. That was all he said. It had occurred to Junpei at the time it sounded like somewhat strange, but he didn't press the issue. He hadn't done so because there was something that struck him as even stranger. That was the mystery of the relationship between Snake and Clover. For some reason, they had been abducted in the same room and woke up in the same room. Junpei looked at them thoughtfully. So what's the deal with the two of you anyway? It was Clover who answered. Clearly she felt she had nothing to hide. We're siblings. Siblings? Yes? Snake is my older brother, obviously. That means I'm his little sister. Not really so hard to understand? So Junpei was taken aback. The others seemed just as surprised. She is correct, of course. He laid a hand on Clover's shoulder. Are you surprised? Okay, Gamercore, you were not gonna answer this. What did you guys think was the nature of their relationship beforehand? Well, yeah, but... Why? There are other people here with connections to one another. Those two, for instance. Snake pointed at Junpei and June. And then he proceeded to, like, slightly point, in the wrong direction. Oh, you mean between Junpei and me? Ah, yes. You did say you were childhood friends, didn't you? You went to school together? Yeah. Why can't I answer? Because, like, okay, I'm gonna ask. Like, I wanted to, like, ask the greenhorns, the people experiencing the game for the first time, if they are in the stream.
what they thought their relationship was. Like, but you're allowed to answer this too. Like, what vibe do the two of them give? Like, aside from siblings, what is the first impression? What do you guys think their vibe is? June glanced at Junpei, uncomfortable with the sudden attention. Junpei felt somewhat nervous as well and tried to scratch his head as casually as possible. Hey, you think maybe we can figure out who Zero is that way? Yeah, you're right. You connect the dots between the victims and that leads you to the perp. Textbook stuff. Junpei? June, does any of this ring a bell? Ring a bell? Ring a bell? They looked at one another. And like it was staged, they both tilted their neck at the same time. Well, perhaps you went to school with the son of a multimillionaire. A millionaire? Son? Well, someone bought this boat and set up all of this. Whoever Zero is, they must be incredibly rich. Well, we can't be sure of that. To me, this seems like as though it's the work of an organization, not an individual. Zero is most likely the representative of a larger group. What sort of organization? It could be a number of things. An army? Perhaps. Or a research group. Hey, Barry! Also, I just noticed something's a little off with the stream capture. It's a little small. There we go. I just noticed it's because the stream crashed and I need to readjust the program. Perhaps this is all some sort of psychological experiment. If it is, then it's a pretty fucked up experiment. I mean, come on, a guy's dead! The word dead hung in the air, heavy and ominous. The room went quiet again. I don't know who the hell that Zero asshole is, but I know for sure he's gotta be pretty fucked in the head to do all this. If it was all one guy, he's got some serious issues. Even with the specter of death hanging over him, their discussions continued for some time. In the end, however, they learned nothing. Oof. Or really killing time. By the time they finished, 1.5 of their 9 hours was gone. All they had to show for it was impatience. Man, okay, I'm gonna stop. The localization and the prose is really good. I'd say that like my main gripe is the overusage of what the hell from Junpei. There's you gotta mix things up, but it is fun. It is funny. I do think it's funny like that he says what the hell. It's kind of became a meme in the fandom. With like, I don't know. Like I dabble a bit in writing, and as I read books myself and like that, I've become really hyper conscious about like scripts and the way that people talk. And like how you write in like author voice, and there is definitely a voice to the prose of this game. Look, we only got 7.5 hours left, okay? You really sure you want to just sit around? No one was willing to argue this time. Very well then. There's only one way for us to proceed. Sure not gonna be fun running around knowing you gotta jump when Zero says jump.
Well, it's stupid to just sit around here and doing nothing.
Thanks to Snake's card, at least we have some idea of how all this works. Correct. And as long as we follow the rules, we will most likely be alright. But what?
Who's going to go in which door?
June looked towards the numbered doors. Oh yeah, that's right. We can't have any more than 4 people on one door. All 8 of us can't go in the same door. It would seem like we have to split up. Wait! Lotus looked terrified. I'm telling you now, there's no way in hell I'm going into door number 5. Come now, don't be selfish. Call me whatever the hell you want, I'm not going in there. If I'm going to have to walk through all that blood, I'd rather stay here. You know, when I was a kid, I thought Lotus was really annoying, but she's very normal about this situation. We were doing so well.
woman coffee emoji. Ace shook his head sadly. Sorry, but I ain't going in there either. Someone else can go into door number 5. Oh. Send, not you too. Hey man, I just bought these shoes. If you think I'm getting some creepy dude's blood all over him, you got a thing coming. You got another thing coming. Wow. That was the last straw. What the hell, man? The Jays. Look, I bought him firsthand, and it's not some fucking knockoff. Weren't you the one who said we should get going? Yeah. So? Doesn't mean I wanted to go into door number 5. Oh god. There was an awkward silence. Finally, Seven spoke. Fine. I'll go into door number 5. I can't go there alone, though. Anyone else willing to come with me? There was another long silence. This time Snake was the one willing to break it. I'll go.
What?
Don't worry, you'll be fine. We may part now, but I'm certain we'll meet again later.
How do you know that?
Because I do.
That's not an answer! If you're going, then I'm going too! I'm going into door number 5.
What am I going to do? There's nothing you have to do. Ace stepped forward. If I join you, the problem is solved, correct? 7 is 7 and Snake is 2. If you add Clover's 4 and my 1, that's a the digital root will be 5.
Oh, it works perfectly! The 4 of us can go into door 5.
Wait, what about the other 4? What's their digital root gonna be? Junpei did a quick mental calculation. Lotus, Santa, June, and Junpei remained. Their bracelet numbers were 8, 3, 6, and 5. What would their digital root be? Okay. Well, this truly is the math visual novel. It's a good thing I actually have a notepad to write this. So it's 8 plus 3. It's 11. Yeah, it's 6 plus 5 is 11 too. You have both of them. That's 22, and that equals 4. Yeah, we're fine. I'm not gonna pick the stupid option. I did 4 units of math. I'm not that bad. Quick trivia about the Israeli education system. Like basically how math works is that like once you enter high school, you basically have a point system where from 3 to 5, and it's basically like the amounts of credits like that you get in the RSATs. So 3 point is the easiest, 4 point is in between, and 5 point is like the hardest. Is like the most advanced. And like if you're pursuing like a STEM degree, then then like aiming for 5 point math is preferred. So yeah, I did 4 points in math. I'm not going to skip the calculations and pick a wrong answer because it'll entertain you guys. I gotta show I'm smart. She repeated what he determined. It's 4. Add up our bracelet numbers and digital root is 4.
And we can go into door number 4.
Yeah, that worked out well. Junpei ran over to see what Simon's in his hand one more time. 4 people will go into door 5. 7, Snake, Clover, and Ace. 4 people will go into door 4. Lotus, Santa, June, and Junpei. Junpei had to ask himself if the team was what he really wanted. Beyond door 5 would remain of the 9th man. He never wanted to see that thing. Something in him said it would be unwise not to examine the corpse even a little closer. Of course, if he went through door 5, we wouldn't be going with Lotus and Santa. True, it would be possible for him to bring June with him through door 5, but that would mean it would have to see the horde she would have to see the horde carnage that waited there. Junpei didn't want that. Junpei was torn. Should he stay silent and go through door 4? Or should he stop them all and insist on going through door 5? As he tried his options over and over, in his mind, Ace spoke up. Alright then. Seems we've reached a conclusion. Shall we go? He began to walk towards door 5. Clover and Snake followed, and Snake a short distance behind. Junpei, which door do you want to go through?
Okay, so this is where I'm going to pick some of the decisions for myself. Because again, I've played this game and this game has 5 main endings. And there are 3 endings I want to go for. So the way I'm going to plan this Let's Play is that we are going to, for now, stick with door number 4. Decided door 4 will be fine. In this version. Yeah, in this version. I don't know how it is in the Steam release. In the Steam port. He would go through door 4 with Lotus, Santa, and June. 8 total endings across all versions? Wait, there's extra endings in the Steam port? What? I didn't know they added extra endings. I'm guessing it's more bad endings. Oh, yeah, so there is... Yeah, there's actually like another one. I'm gonna look it up in the Wikipedia. I'm not going to like go over the numbers because reasons. There is yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. That ending is that I know that ending. There is an extra ending, which is from the iOS. Yeah, so there is an entire ending, but it's mobile exclusive. Why had Junpei even considered doing otherwise? He would be there for June, for Akane Kurashiki. That seemed good. Akane. That seemed good. And he felt it was right choice to make. He made no shows of affection, but Junpei saw her as something more than just a friend from his childhood. He watched the 4 others, the other 4 walk toward the door. Ace, Snake, Clover, and Seven. Junpei said nothing as they left. Before long, they reached door number 5. They talked to one another for a few seconds, saying things Junpei couldn't hear, and then laid their hands, one by one, on the scanner panel and read. Man, Snake has the complexion of a sickly Victorian child. Ace grabbed the lever. His face tight with determination. He turned over his shoulder to look at Junpei and his companions. Goodbye. Be careful. I think one of the things that I like
about this game is that, like, the characters feel very human. As Ace pulled a lever, the door swung open, the mouth of a great hungry beast. Beyond the door, Junpei knew, lay the sad remains of the ninth man. It did not surprise him that Ace, Clover, and Seven hesitated. The body was not a pleasant thing. Snake had no such problems, as his blindness made him immune to the horror. He stepped through the door, his feet making a wet splat in the pool of blood. You intend to kill me? I assume you haven't forgotten the door only remains open for 9 seconds, have you? Snake had not even bothered to turn around, but the other three steeled themselves and stepped through the door. Door 5 swung shut, closing with the heavy finality of a metal upon metal. Junpei and his companion scrambled to the door. They pressed their ears in it in an attempt to hear what might be taking place on the other side. It's beeping. It's just like before. Probably the sound of a detonator on the bracelet. You think they're okay? June's face showed off her concern more plainly than words ever could. Although, almost as though in response to her question, a voice rang out from the other side of the door. It was Seven. Hey, there it is! That's gotta be the dead thing! 8 total endings across all versions? What? Interesting. Come on, we gotta authenticate! The beeping stopped. The sighs of relief were audible even through the heavy door. Whew, looks like it stopped! Junpei and his companions leaned away from the door and breathed a collective sigh of relief on their own. Hey, guys, are you doing alright over there? They'd heard Seven's voice, but it wouldn't hurt to be sure.
Yep, we're fine.
Wait, no, I actually like the...
Yep, we're fine.
Despite the recent danger, Clover's voice was as bubbly as ever.
Oh, hey, I'm gonna have to tell you about this whole dead thing, okay? The dead is just like the red, but the color's different. You know how the red was red? Well, the dead is blue. Other than that, it's just like the red. Authenticating is the same too.
Awesome, thanks, that helps a lot. Well, we should probably move on now. You better be careful out there. Roger that. Junpei and the others left door 5 and headed towards door 4. They stood in front of the red and placed each of their hands upon it. 4 asterisks appear on the screen. Junpei grabbed the lever and turned around. You guys ready? Yeah. Sure. Let's go. None of them looked particularly optimistic, but their faces were set. Junpei nodded to them and turned around towards the red. All right, let's go. With strength and determination, he pulled the lever. Run! The 4 of them leapt together through the door. The moment they had passed through it, each heard a cold, electronic sound coming from the left wrist. In the center of each bracelet, a red skull appeared and began to flash. The detonator's countdown had begun. In the long moment each of them spent starting their wrists. The number door behind them closed, the sound of metal and metal reverberating down the hallway. There was no way back now. They were committed. If they could not find a device and deactivate their detonators. Hey, where the hell is the dead? How would I know? Don't give me that crap. Start looking. I already am. They began to run. eyes looking fanatically for the device that was the key to their salvation. The hallway they found themselves running to was a long one, easily 300 feet in length. On the right side of it stood a series of wooden doors, all nearly identical. If they had taken the time to think, they would have likely discerned the doors lead to the cabins. Don't tell me that is in one of those rooms! Oh no! How many rooms do you think there are? Junpei was too frightened to count properly, but at his best guess there were 7 or 8 of them. Fuck! There wasn't time to count them, to be sure. Junpei ran towards the nearest door. He grabbed the knob and shook it hard. It wouldn't open. It didn't feel locked, more like someone was hammered an iron plate over the other side of the door. Junpei turned around to find another door, and saw his companions already ran to the doors on their own. They did not seem to be having any more success than he had. Their words confirmed his fears. Shit! This one's no good! Same here. Not moving. Jun was the last to speak up. As Junpei looked in her direction, his eye caught something he hadn't noticed before. A small red light. It flashed at him, dimly from the end of the hallway. That's it! Over there! Even as he yelled, he ran. He grabbed Santa, Lotus, and June and pulled them towards the light. I see the light at the end of the tunnel! Hatsune Miku! Is that you? Santa called out to them and ran. Hey! How many more seconds do we have? How would I know? Our time limit is 81 seconds. I know that, goddammit! I'm asking you how many seconds we have left! Hatsune Miku. I miss my wife, Tails. Not likely would Junpei figure out near Lehman has already passed the city. Close behind them. That was true. Or just foremost in all of their minds. They arrived at the end of the hallway. The dead sat on the left wall, blinking almost tauntingly at them. Hurry! Junpei grabbed hold of the machine, his hands slick with sweat and shaking. He slammed his head against the scanner panel. The other 3 followed suit. With a grunt, Santa yanked the lever downward. Looks like it stopped. His hands beginning to steady. Junpei wiped away some of the sweat that had beaded on his forehead. As they caught up their breath, the 4 companions began to look around. At the end of the hallway lay a heavy-looking set of double doors. Set into the walls of the hallway on either side of the larger door were 2 smaller ones. They all needed inspecting, but Junpei began with the largest of the 3, the double doors. How many times had he come across similar doors with similar results, he wondered. Or perhaps he corrected himself, more a lack of results. Whatever the reason, the door remained firm and unyielding and refused to allow Junpei or anyone else passage. Near the handle was a small keyhole. Above the keyhole was a small symbol engraved in the brass. Mail? He wasn't quite sure what to make of it and stared at it for a moment in confusion. It was June who corrected him.
No, that's the symbol. That's not the symbol for mail. That's precisely the symbol of Mars. Well, technically, they are the same symbol. But I saw a number of similar symbol. But I saw a number of. But I saw a number of similar symbols near the main stairway. The symbols of the solar system.
The sun, Saturn, the Earth.
At least, that's what I'm assuming.
So this isn't the man symbol, it's the symbol for Mars?
I think so, yes.
While Junpei and June talked, Sen had disappeared. They turned to find him some distance down from the hallway. He had gone to check the other doors. Eventually he reached the last of them and jogged back. It took him a moment to catch his breath again. Here's the deal. None of the other doors open.
Then that must mean...
We only have 2 more doors. Lotus examined the doors on either side of the larger double door. Each one had a metal plate attached to it. Junpei figured they were probably room numbers. The door on the left read B92, and the door on the right proclaimed it led to B93.
Alright, let's open them. Yeah.
Junpei put his hand on the doorknob for the door that said room 92. Sana moved the door to room 93. They'd made it through the numbered door alive. There was nothing more to be afraid of. Junpei and Santa looked at each other and nodded.
1, 2, 3.
In unison, they pushed against their respective doors and promptly found themselves in a new room.
And this, chat, is where we're stopping for tonight. I think this is a pretty good point. As for the plans, we're probably going to be continuing 999 September on Wednesday. Hopefully, I'll have to update you guys on my schedule because I do have a bit of work in the side project, the project I'm doing. But I do want to, at the very least, my bucket list goal is to try to finish as much of this game that I can and try to finish it before September. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this game. I mean, we're only like 2 hours in. I mean, 3 hours. This stream is 3 hours, but like it's 2 hours in technically because I played Balatro in the beginning, and you know, I crashed the game accidentally. But yeah, I hope you guys really like what you saw so far. But so far, I'm impressed with how much the game holds up, and I have some and because of like my memories of the game, it's really impressive to like revisit and see just how tight the writing is. This truly is a perfect introduction. So yeah, thank you so much for enjoying the stream, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay frosty, and make sure that all your windows are closed, and that there isn't a man in a gas mask inside of your apartment.